Well, when I was young, I didn't go to church or anything like that. My parents weren't religious, so I was never involved in anything spiritual or anything like that. So when I started drinking, it was, and like God wasn't involved or the church wasn't involved or anything like that. And, I didn't think it was a bad thing. And it's kind of a slippery slope because you're out with your friends and you're drinking and all that. Then, I tried several attempts then to stop drinking by myself because I knew that it was getting out of hand. After falling off the wagon quite a few times, I decided I had to do something different. So I actually did go back to AA. And this time, instead of just sitting there and just pretending I was soaking it all in and just thinking, well, this is just going to cure me just by going to the meetings, I actually started acknowledging and trying to find myself, really, trying to find what was going on with myself, why I was failing. And like I said, one of the reasons was because I was trying too hard to do it by myself and was not asking for any help from anybody or any being or anything. It was just little things that started changing. Relationships with people, friends, coincidental things that was happening to me that I put down as coincidence at first, but then it was just, there was a lot of coincidental things that I thought was trying to kind of push me to be a better sort of person. So in essence, yes, now I have some kind of spirituality, and it's not really, it's there a little bit, but it's not, I'm still trying to find a lot of things out about God and why things happen, but I've started to believe that things really don't happen by themselves, and there is something that you're meant to do, because if I wasn't meant to do anything, I'd probably be dead by now.
Spirituality to me spirituality has affected my recovery because it's given me a new relationship with the God of my understanding. I've always known that God's been there for me. I chose to move away from God. Recovery has brought me back to where I'm a lot closer to God. Spirituality affects my recovery too, because in our program that we practice spiritual principles, which are basically a code of conduct, things like honesty, humility, open-mindedness, willingness, surrender, those types of things where I'm trying to do better for man and move away from JP's will and move more towards God's will. What it's done is it's opened up a new relationship with God for me, so that I know that anytime, even when I'm alone, I know that there's a power greater than myself that's there walking with me through things. I've had a lot of experiences in recovery where I can't say there's a plausible explanation for it, and I can look today and say, I know that there was a power greater than myself out there helping me, and that's where the spirituality piece comes in.
Spirituality to me is the process of becoming familiar with a power greater than myself. God is what it usually is. To me, it's the aspect of the program of Alcoholics Anonymous that allowed me to stay alive to this point. I first came to Alcoholics Anonymous in April of 1988, and I saw all the writing on the wall that said God, higher power, things like that, and I thought, okay, I'm just really screwed because I don't believe in God. I really don't believe that there's a power greater than myself. And for 2 years, I kept on drinking. I was in and out of Alcoholics Anonymous. I was also going to outpatient treatment, and nothing was working for me. No matter how hard I tried to exercise my willpower, I kept getting drunk and drunker and drunker until I finally succumbed to the suggestions of the people at treatment and at outpatient treatment, and I went to treatment at La Hacienda. And there was a guy up there, and he spoke to me. He said, if you're sitting out there and you have not been able to get sober because you don't have a God of your understanding in your life, you just might end up where I did. I've been in insane asylums. I've been in treatment centers. I've been to prison because I just would not surrender and believe that there is a power greater than myself. And he said, if you're like me, you might want to do what I did, which is something I could identify with. He didn't say you have to do this. He just said, you might want to do what I did. You might want to go back to your room and put a chair in front of it, and you can be as irreverent and profane and rude as you want to talking to this chair. Just make sure that at the end of your tirade you say, I want you to be the God of my understanding. And that's what I did. I was saying every curse word I could think of, and I know there's no such thing, God, but just in case you are, you MF, save me. And he said, at the end of your session, start writing down what you prayed for and call it a prayer, and then write down what you got. So I had these ridiculous little requests to God, and I wasn't calling it God then. Please let so-and-so get into a halfway house. Please let me this, that, and the other. And at about 7 days, I had an epiphany, and I knew that there really was a God.